respectmyregion.com. We're back on another episode of the New York Cannabis Podcast, folks. Today, our journey is brought to you guys and presented by Trees, the #1 cannabis ERP software for retailers. If you want to grow your money, you got to get a hold of Trees. Data analytics, e-com, payment processing, and my favorite thing, point of sale. So exciting, but so helpful. Today, everybody, the episode is not about Trees. It's about the Flowery. It's about their 11 locations in Florida. It's about their New York domination, soon to be 8 locations. We've got 3 on the way in 30 days or less, with 5 currently open. But more important than all that, we got my main man, Ilya Shmidt here. He's the Vice President of Sales and Retail Operations. How you doing, bro? How you living today? How's everything rocking in New York for you?
I'm great. You know, New York's a little bit chilly, a little bit colder than I prefer, but it's going all good. Just like you mentioned,
It makes you
we're
guys
pumping
tougher,
away.
man, because it's no easy feat to open 20 locations when it comes to cannabis, man. It's not easy opening 1, let alone 5 in New York and 11 in Florida. I can only imagine how fun and but challenging that has been for you guys.
It's like having kids. They're all little babies, but you love them all, and just want to grow the family. And we're so glad to be a part of it here in New York and grow with this beautiful state and market. They're hungry for it, and we're trying to deliver.
Man, they say Cali smokes, and where I'm from in Seattle, they say Seattle and Washington smokes, right? But Florida and New York, they stay chiefing. They stay off the weed too, man. And whether it was legal or illegal, they were smoking for a long time. And
Yeah.
you guys have brought in you guys have helped usher in this new era of adult use meets medical cannabis. Florida medical market didn't pass rec this last session. New York been rec for a couple years now. We're over 200 locations in the dispensary realm. There's a lot of weed there, and there's more coming, right? There's a lot more indoor coming eventually.
Yeah. The product in New York is definitely getting better. I think the market is getting a little bit more mature and educated on the products.
Mm-hmm.
Dabbing is not a huge part of the market in New York, but with certain brands coming and people learning about the difference between distillate, resin, rosin, things of that nature, the market's going to grow, and these brands are going to come. They're going to educate, and that's what Flowery's here for as well. We want to bring the best, not only the best product, but also the information that comes along with it, so that you can get the best product for whatever you need it for.
Now, guys, before I take this podcast and steer it down, the J-Ping just freestyles it, and I hang out here with Ilya for the next 30, 45 minutes. Because once I start smoking Ilya, I'm liable to really my passions can take over. But we've got a mission today, and the mission is to highlight the Flowery. Specifically, right, I was talking with you guys' publicist. It was all about this New York expansion. So let's focus on New York. We'll circle back to Florida. We'll come back to you because I'm interested in your journey, right? Cannabis is they talk about cannabis and that love for the plant, how it's all about the plant, but it's about the people and how we use it and how it impacts us, right? That's what creates the community. That's what creates supply and demand, is our need for it, right? Whatever we use it for. So we'll circle back to you and your need and your love for the plant and why you're working in it. We'll come back to that after Florida. So let's begin with New York. We were talking offline. 5 locations currently. Can you walk me through what was the first 3 or 4, 5 locations? What was that pecking order? How did that come about?
Yeah, it all started in Staten Island. We have some great partners through some of our ownership, and we managed to make a great relationship out there and open up a Flowery. And since then, as you said, we've grown to 5 stores. Then we opened up Queens. Then we partnered up with the existing store in Soho. We opened up Brooklyn, and just last month we opened up a beautiful store in the Upper West Side off of Broadway. So
yes,
I'm really grateful to be here. It's a really awesome market. The people are very special. So it's really an amazing experience.
all of these neighborhoods in New York, in America, we have all these different regions, right? We're Respect My Region. Our region is the Pacific Northwest. But you look at the boroughs, you look at these different areas of New York, and they all have their unique, diverse subcultures. They're really community focused, or I would call intensive, right? Or even intentional, where everyone is all about highlighting the greatness that's been there, or the artistic, or the expression of the diversity, just the people that are there. What has it been like for you guys as the Flowery, tapping into that local community, hiring local, training, the brands? What is that like? Because the cannabis has to come from New York. right, in this adult use market, just
Yes,
like
sir.
any of the other states. It's
Yeah.
grown there, licensed, tagged, whatever it is, right? Whatever your guys' rules say. But like New York is so prideful of the weed from there and these brands from there. So what has that been like for you guys as you build these relationships in the community and as you launch these locations?
You nailed it on the head. You know, that word community is so vital. Not only to just hire people from within the community that understand, you know, the streets around, the businesses around, the type of, you know, the type of population, but it's also about the how should I say it? The politics also, making sure that the council people are comfortable with you. They, you know, a lot of people think this is taboo, right? Especially the older community. And you know, we want to say that we're here to help and we're doing everything right. We're getting the right licenses. We're working with the right partners, and we want to contribute to the community. You know, we want to give back, and also when we're thinking about our product mix, we're thinking about what does that community need? What are they asking for?
Right.
So if you look at different boroughs, like you mentioned, something like a Brooklyn, where 10 out of 10 of our top selling products might be flower, you look at Upper West Side, which is a completely different demographic, like most of their top selling products are edibles, right? Because the populations and the knowledge and education behind cannabis is so different. People might not want to smoke here because the population might be a little bit older. Or people,
Right.
you know, people might want kosher edibles in certain other communities and things like that. So it's really exciting to look at the data and understand what people want, and you know, also we're focused on quality. So making sure that we're partnering with the right brands
Yep.
and showcasing them is reflection on us. So we want to make sure that when people are coming in, they're getting the best quality products, because that's a reflection on the Flowery brand name as well.
Now, I'm not going to throw shade at New York just yet because it's an early market, but the diversity of flower there is the category that is left to be desired, right? I think for people that smoke high quality, high, potency, whatever you're going for that you say is your preference, I think New York's market still has room to grow in those areas, and it's not because of the lack of passion or the lack of genetics. One of the best strains I smoked all year long was this Piff, this grapefruit chem Piff from Piff Coast Genetics out there.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out him, and now my new love for those strains. But guess what? That genetic wasn't even getting grown in the New York market in this adult use stuff yet. It's got to catch up in terms of the adult use meets the streets, aka the culture, right?
Yep.
It is behind still. But the cool part is that now that we've acknowledged that, you cannot get the safe, accurate dosing, potent products, whether it's sleep things or topicals or the tinctures. You cannot find that in those bodegas. You cannot find it from your local dealer. You're stuck with whatever their trap products are and decent flour. And that's what I really like about the New York market is these brands like Heirloom, these brands like 1906, where there's really a true science and consistency to some of these products. Those are some of the items that I really like in your guys' market. And the flower, you guys carry most, if not all, of the essential brands that a true patient or an adult use consumer would want, right? And I think that's something that you guys should be proud of is the brand offering you guys have. It's the top tier across the board.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I mentioned before, the quality that you get, we want to make sure you're getting the best available to you. And you know, one of the things that we're eventually going to work towards is the partnerships that we've made in Florida. We're hoping to make the same partnerships in New York, and you can already see it. Certain brands like Preferred Gardens are entering the market up here. Runts are entering the market up here, and we're hoping that we can continue that trend with our Florida brands.
We would, if you ran a regular grocery store, you would want continuity between your locations as much as possible. Just like, for example, let's use Costco. What one of my favorite things about Costco is that, like, in some of the areas where there's a heavier Asian demographic, you get a different selection of Asian goods than you would over in a different area. And or where I come from in Washington, you get a selection of brands and things from the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Washington, etc. We notice that from state to state, partially because the rules, right? The legislation requires
Mm-hmm.
local sourcing. But when you guys are over there dominating the East Coast, right? Florida, New York, you're going to want continuity between those customers. The person that goes from New York travels to Florida, probably before they go to California, realistically, right? And so I think that's a really cool way to explore that and to curate the brands, to curate the experience for your guys' customers. Now, you guys are at 11 locations, right, in Florida. We're talking 8 locations soon. What's that realistic timeline for those last 3 locations about to open in the next 30 days? When can we realistically see those open? When can I pull up on you guys?
I mean, like our drop dead is hopefully 420. We want to get them all open by then. 30 days I think is realistic, but 420s are definitely target.
Hey man, that right there is about 45, 50 days. That's looking solid right there. That's going to be a fun challenge, right? But also too, a lot of opportunity to connect with people, especially around that time of the month, around that time of the year. Let's talk about this Upper West Side location that just opened, right? I believe I was there right after the Soho thing, did its thing a couple months back. Now we're talking Upper West Side. What's that community like? If you could talk to the people there to let them know about the Flowery, what do you want them to know about the Flowery in the Upper West Side?
At the Flowery, I think for that demographic specifically, it's a little bit more of a mature market in terms of age, and there's a tight knit community, and which I respect very much because they don't just let any business come in. Like you have to get to know them. They have to accept you, which we did a great job. So shout out to our license holders over there, and they're
Wow.
also they're all yeah they're phenomenal. One thing I would say is like we want to make sure that you are as educated as possible when you're making your decision to make a purchase. Um, you know, we don't just want to upsell you and get you out the door with the highest cart or sell you on something that's aging, right? We want to sell you good quality, fresh product that's going to help you with whatever it is. And in that case up there, right, it's edibles, right? Most people that would get edibles, they want help sleep, right?
Yeah.
Or they
It's like
want
something
help
like
with
70+% of people that use cannabis are using it for sleep, right?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
crazy.
Sleep or pain relief, things of that nature. So, up there, that's where we put an extra emphasis on it. And then when we partner up with brands, we make sure that they understand that as well. So that's the message I would
I
say.
grabbed my
That's
little
something
sleep
we hang
tincture
our
there
hat
to
on.
show, because even me, right? I smoke and smoke and smoke, but guys, to sleep, I got my 1-to-1 ratio here, Ilya, and that,
Yeah.
like that for me, what an incredible ratio of cannabinoids for sleep. Just for everybody that was watching, I grabbed that to share that. Give a little game. I've been sleeping incredible. I woke up at like 4 o'clock this morning, wide awake after taking that at 9 last night. Just so refreshed and ready to go. And it's cool because we talk about safe products, we talk about compliance, we talk about the legal system there, the market, the industry. It's not perfect, and every state has these different rules about heavy metals and ppm and these different moisture percentages or whatever it is, right? What are your thoughts on New York? Do we trust the testing in New York? Are we able to rely on that? I know people scoff at the THC thing, but if we were to throw that out as an outlier, can we trust the rest of it across these edibles and these beverages? Is that something that you feel confident in from a patient to patient or like a business to patient experience?
Personally, yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know any different. I haven't been to any of these facilities, but I do trust a lot of these big testing companies. We work closely with them in Florida.
Nice.
As you know, we are not vertical in New York,
Yep.
so we don't really have too much insight into the details of the testing. But all the brands, testing companies that we've worked with so far, and that I've seen in my
It hasn't been as
decade
volatile as
plus,
these Michigan and California experiences so far,
yeah,
seemingly.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, nice,
But
nice. Yeah, I mean,
so far, so good.
just to give some
There's a lot of
perspective
good
there, right?
product.
It definitely plays into the ecosystem. A lot of customers go in, I'm looking for an indica, I'm looking for this, give me the highest THC, 30, 30, 30. It becomes a thing over time, and as frustrating as it is,
Yeah,
we have to combat that, right?
yeah, and what's beautiful, you kind of touched on it, is a lot of people just want to go play the numbers game, right? They're like, just give me the highest THC, and I think when as a market matures, like such as they do in Florida, they're not as interested in THC percentage as they are in terp percentage, and
Mm,
go past that a certain terp. So in Florida, for example, we have it's a medical community
yep.
where they have prescription. So they have a certain limit that they can purchase every month for their medication. And because they have that limit, they have learned to be much more educated because their purchase needs to be very specific. So if they're
Yeah, if
not
it
getting what
doesn't
they
work
want,
just because they bought their max amount, if it don't work, it don't work.
you can't just go and buy some more, right?
Yeah.
But in New York, you can kind of just get whatever you want. So you just like, okay, I'll get the highest THC. If I don't like it, I'll get something else next time. No big deal. Where Florida, you have to be a little bit more cognizant of the testing results, of what terpenes you want, of what kind of smoking experience you
All
want,
the
whether you
different
like it
factors that
a
make it
bong, a
whatever it
joint,
is.
a puffco, like whatever,
Yeah.
right? Like it's important, and that's what's really cool about being partners with 710 out in Florida is they're about the quality of the product, and I mean as we all are and should be, but they're kind of leading the voice of that. Screw THC percentage.
Yeah.
You should be shopping on cultivars, and you should be caring more about terps and freshness levels.
Right. And this is a good transition point, not just for Florida, but going back to that continuity between curation, brand partners, right? Your business structure is different in New York than it is in Florida, right? And so there's these variables. So first let's break that down. You guys in New York are a dispensary operator, you're a retailer. You guys buy products that are prepackaged from brands, right? And you guys resell them, and you guys have multiple locations to do that in across the state, and you guys are the biggest one there in the state from a footprint perspective, correct? Believe so.
Yes. We work closely with our license holders
Yep.
to make sure that we have that we're offering the best product mix out there for sure.
So New York, and that's an amazing market. I can co-sign the amazingness that's there from a product and a product diversity standpoint, the passion, the people, the events. New York goes hard. You guys are growing it. It's bustling, man. It's tough, but it's going. Now, Florida, medical market, it was projected to be bigger than Cali, billions of dollars in revenue,
Billions.
right? Billions. And it didn't pass rec, but we're still medical. There's dispensaries all over the state. You guys have 11 out there. You cultivate it. You guys have some cool partners. You guys have some really cool partners out there.
The
Can
best
you
partners.
explain who you guys have as partners for cultivation and all these different products you guys create? What are you guys
Yes.
working with for your
So we are completely vertical, and that's the way that it works in Florida. You can't do anything otherwise. So if you want to get certain brands, they have to go through our cultivation, and we are the ones manufacturing it. We're delivering it. We're extracting it. The whole shebang. So some of our amazing partners, as a lot of people know, 710 Labs, Preferred Gardens, Doja Pack, Wizard Trees, Packs, Runts, Backpack Boys. There's a lot of great ones. And because of that, we've been able, to help get our name out there too. But it shouldn't take away from our success as well, because I think that we have some of the best, if not the best, cultivators in the country, if not the world. I truly believe that. I stand on that.
I will co-sign basically everything that you said, because I've tried it and I know what it's like in Cali for some of these. I know what it's like in New York for some of them. I know what it's like in Florida for some of them. I went to Rolling Loud Miami. I was there with Wizard Trees. I tried their product. I was just with them at the Olympics. Tried their stuff again. It's Preferred Gardens was here. Watched you guys sign them. It's like a record deal. Watch them get signed to the record label, the Flowery. Watch them go down to Florida and start pumping out, singles and albums with you guys and really crushing it. Watching Dave do his thing. Watching you guys bring in these other brands and really build out this ecosystem, because, and it sounds crazy, but I don't see that much of a difference between Los Angeles and Miami when I look around. I don't see that much of that huge of a difference between the people, the lifestyles, what's going on. It's different, but I see a lot of overlap on that particular Venn diagram.
There's a lot of trust that goes in there, right?
Yeah.
Because you being in California right now and seeing the quality that they're bringing and their standards, that when you go and you purchase, 710 Labs and so on and so forth, you're getting a certain quality. And then when you go to Florida, you expect that same quality. And for them to give us the trust with their product and their brand is a big sign of faith. And, and we're thankful. and we're excited to do that. To bring those products to the Florida market. It's a thing of beauty, and it's honestly, like you said, it's really what sets us apart, and it's something that we're going to continue to stand on.
710 Labs. You ask anyone around the country that dabs rosin and that is remotely heady and headier than me. I'm a smoker, I'm a creator, whatever. You could call me whatever you want, and I'll take it all. I'll take all the hate. But the reality is, anybody in their right mind that dabs rosin at a high level across the country, if they're going into a legal dispensary and they've been in Colorado, they've been in California, or they've gone to Florida, or they've been to any one of these places where 710 Labs exists, I think Nevada too, maybe, I could be wrong, they know that it's arguably the best. It's going to be the highest price depending on the category of product, right? Whatever type of rosin it is, right? And it's going to be described as, yo, this is the best of the best in the store, this brand. It's always been that way. And I think, as you said, we expect, we demand, we trust that quality is going to be delivered consistently across the board. You said you were from California a little bit, right? You spent some time out here, right?
Yes, I grew up there 30 plus years.
Come on, Cali, baby. 30 plus years,
Cali boy.
You've tried the rosin, right? You've tried the genetics.
Absolutely.
Smoked the weed out here in Cali, right? It's not about it being better or worse, right? In this instance, it's about it being consistent. In your experience with these brands that you guys have partnered with, the ones that have come from outside Florida or Cali or whatever it is, do you feel that they're consistent? Do you believe? Do we stand 100%. On that business here today that the Flowery is delivering 100%. Caliber?
1,000%. Like you said, like you mess with Dave, right? I deal with Dave a lot. We all do. He comes out and makes sure that his babies are well taken care of, and we're putting out the best product possible. If that was the case, then these brands would be running from the hills and not messing with us for the last 3 years. So
hey, we
I wholeheartedly believe
we gotta hear it, because I can't go there and try it all. I don't have a medical card, right?
Yeah.
So that's the nature of the Florida model. There is, we've got to trust what's happening in these places, and ultimately hearing it straight from you guys, it does help build that trust, but hearing that confidence, right? Yeah, man, I'm going to kill it. We've been killing it. These guys wouldn't be rocking with us if we wasn't killing it, right? And I love that. I love that confidence. I love that honesty. I love you riding for that.
Not only that, but we're offering better value in Florida because we're a medical market and we don't have these taxes. We have these crazy taxes that you do in California. So the price that you see is what you're getting in Florida versus California, where it's they've been taxing for a while more and more.
Now, Ilya, this is the New York Cannabis Podcast, so we're going to go back to New York a little bit. We're going to go back to your story. Tell me a little bit about your story. How'd you end up in New York?
Through the Flowery. I thought it was a little over a year ago. We were presented with opportunity with some of the license holders here, and we did some legwork, and I came out here with our CEO and some other of our partners, and took a look around, got a lay of the land, looked at some locations, looked at some other dispensaries, looked at some products and brands that are out here, and said, like, hey, does it make sense for us to stretch ourselves up north to a brand new market? Like, can we really make an impact? Is this good for our brand? Do we really think we can handle, like, we're expanding like crazy in Florida, but like, can we do New York at the same time? And we all got together, and we were very diligent about where we're opening these stores and the license holders that we're partnering with, because ultimately they're the owners, right? And they're trusting us to be able to help with their marketing and come in and help run a good operation and have the best offerings available and the best vibes and the best culture, all these things, and we have to stay on top of it. So people like me, like, I'm out probably in New York more than I am in Florida at this point, making sure that our brand is staying strong out here, and that we're giving out the best experience to not only the people that work for us, but also the people that come in and shop with us.
Each market is unique and different, and it's hard just because we've been here doing this for this long and we're going this fast and we're winning these races over here, right? That's different at the same time as this is happening over here. And New York is, not to say Florida's not popping up dispensaries like damn near Starbucks, but New York is popping up dispensaries.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at this rate. There's probably twice as many dispensaries like today than there was a year ago.
You're talking about New York or Florida?
New York.
Yeah, so exactly.
Florida
I remember
might
the
be
race
close.
to 100. Now we're at the race to 300. Now we're there gunning for
Yeah,
300
I
locations.
think we're approaching 200 pretty soon in New York, but I think 300 by next year. Like we'll probably be up there. I agree.
That's impressive. And realistically, what that means is people that have been there are going to see their revenues chipped away out by people opening up around them. That's how that works, right? Like,
Yeah, but there's also the black market. You have to consider that, and those
yep,
stores still exist in New York.
of course.
They did close down a lot, but there's still a few here and there. But I mean, you're going through it in the California market. I saw it for myself when I was out there. Is like a little bit of saturation, but
Yep.
it's a learning curve. I think like every state does it a little bit differently, and they learn along the way what's working, what's not working, where the opportunities are, and they fix it as they go. And I've seen it already in California. I've seen it in Florida, and now I'm experiencing it again in New York, and it's cool to see it. I'm lucky to be a part of it. I'm lucky to be a part of it. It's a unique experience, so I'm just excited to be here.
I'm going to go ahead and pull up a photo. I believe this is of the Upper West Side location, but just to show them real quick. Again, everybody, New York Cannabis Podcast. Today's episode brought to you guys by Trees. For all you retailers out there that watch the Flowery, no, the Flowery doesn't work with Trees, but we're connecting to talk about New York, to talk about what's going on in the industry. And so they shot over just a couple quick photos to check out. Beautiful. One of my favorite things about the dispensaries that are out there is whatever photos they decide to do. And like also I love the various picture frames that people decide. It just really shows character.
These are our people from Florida, just so you know. All the pictures on the wall, these are our products. These are our people.
Yeah.
That's one of our hand rollers from our facility.
Yeah.
Like these are our culture, our product, our facility. Like this is our home that we're bringing and spreading it around. And that's super important because every time you enter a Flowery, every time you enter a Flowery, you're experiencing a piece of us, And you're not just putting up random pictures.
I like this layout too because for me, it's tough. Like I go into dispensaries sometimes and I definitely look around. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of the times I go in there, I walk straight up to what I'm looking for. I don't need to be walked around and, all of that every time. And so I like this layout. I love your guys' brand and logos. I love the Flowery little thing. I love seeing that all around Florida when I was at Rolling Loud. I thought that was really cool.
Thank you.
And then these flower bars. And then I'm sure this is like vapes and edibles and other stuff here on the wall.
Yeah, displays.
Yeah, but ultimately it's like I like a simple, clean, quick, and easy. I also like being able to have people in there. Yeah, there we go. Super excited to check it out the next time we go. Really enjoyed the Soho location when we were there 2 months ago. Got some more questions for you. I'll go ahead and the weed is starting to hit me, so I was starting to
all good.
Obviously navigating the different challenges has been tough. You guys were launching so many different stores. We're talking about 3 more opening. Can you go ahead and remind the people where those next 3 are going to be opening there in New York after this Upper West Side is,
Absolutely. We're opening up a store in East Village.
Mm-hmm.
Store in Lower East Side and a second location in Staten Island.
Wow. And then are we seeing any expansion plans beyond New York and Florida at this moment, or is that too exclusive?
I hope, yeah. I mean, look, never say never. There's always opportunities, but also we need to be diligent about where we are now and don't take our eye off the ball. There's still a huge opportunity for us in Florida and New York, which are 2 of the biggest markets in the country, or if not the world. So it's important for us to keep our eye on the ball. But if there's a great opportunity for us, we're never going to say no.
Now, our sponsor's a technology company, so I try to have a technology question, and I'm also a marketing person, right? I was telling you about that. So when it comes to technology, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to opportunities for your Flowery fam, I just made that up off the top.
We say that all the time.
Let's go. So
fam.
Do you guys have a loyalty program? Is there something that somebody can be a part of, a newsletter? How does somebody get involved with what the Flowery has going on? What do you guys use for that? How can people get involved?
We're hoping we're in the process of launching a loyalty program right now, so we're hoping to get that activated in the next few weeks. You can visit thefloweryny.com, get more information. We do pickup orders, delivery, same day. So come check it out. It's all you can prepay, you can use your debit, Dutchy Pay. It's super easy. We've made it
Very
as
dope.
easy as possible, and hopefully in the next month or two, we're going to launch an app, which is, hopefully, cross our fingers, get on the app
Yeah.
store, and you could download
Everybody
it.
get on the app either way,
Yeah.
man. Love that.
Yeah, we have one in Florida already, but New York we're working on it, and I think that's going to be a big game changer for us because New York is it's a it's this instant gratification market, right? Like everybody wants something delivered as fast as possible. Everything's right when you walk out your door, everything's right in front of you. So we want to make sure that we align with that, with the culture out here, and make sure that you're getting everything that you want as fast as possible.
It's so crazy to think about, right? Like, I'm so opposite. I'm so used to going outside, getting in my car. If it's freezing outside, turning my car on before I go out there to drive it to heat it up.
Yeah.
How crazy is that people did that for years? But not in New York. That's not what we do. We just order shit delivery, or we go get on a subway, I guess. It's a whole it's not crazy in a disrespectful way, but it's crazy to think about how different that is from so many other places and people. It's just the mindset of how we get things done, how we get things to us, how we go to other places. In New York, it's just so normal to do so many things that are different from the rest of the country, and that's what makes things great, folks. That's what makes things so amazing, is this different culture, is this uniqueness that we all have across the board. The Flowery, I think about our North American weed tour, which is all about like what's the best of the best. We're on the world tour now. New York is it's a worldwide city, right? People from all over the world come there. They look for a new start, a new journey, a new opportunities, right? Who are some of these brands that you guys rock with that truly represent New York? When you think, man, New York weed, give me what your starting five. And this is no disrespect to the rest, but I'm asking for just the first
Oof.
five he thinks of, folks. I'm giving him an out. It's just the first five he thinks of that represent New York at a high level. No disrespect to anybody. We're just talking first five.
Are we talking the legal market or illicit
Yes,
market?
yes, yes, yes. In the stores, in the legal market, what represents
In
New
the
York?
in the
We go
stores, I
there.
mean, I think Runts is a big one. I think they grasp the culture of New York. I know that some of the guys are from New York as well. They have a big presence out here.
Mm-hmm.
Stizzy just entered the market. I know they're a West Coast brand, but they have been in the New York market for quite a while, and they're finally entering. They're finally entering the legal market, so
Wow.
that's exciting to see them. Um, you know, man, I think right now To the Moon is another one that's out here.
Yeah, I
I
love their
know,
vapes.
yeah, Nikki from To the Moon, shout out. He's from New York. He's been hustling and grinding out here for a while, and he gives back to the community with awesome events. And he's rolling around in his car that's all tagged up To the Moon. And if you see their logo, you start noticing them all around the city. So
Oh, I see it all over the ground, spray painted all over the place, dude. It's just,
yeah,
yeah,
so big
he
shout out
really
to him.
crushes it with them. I was introduced to him one time. I was really impressed with the brand ever since I was introduced to him and his vibe, and just what they do. It was just like, wow, yeah, that's something that's going to be great. Not one day, it was great from day one in that market. That
Yeah.
was one of the coolest brands, one of the highest end brands, period. And that little graffiti can for the
Yeah, those are their marketing and branding is untouched for sure.
absolutely incredible. Okay, what would you say edibles and beverages? Who are you liking out there?
I mean, you mentioned Heirloom. I think they're doing great. I mean, if you look at the stats for New York and sales, I think they're probably at the top for edibles.
You said numbers don't lie. Let's go. They don't.
I mean,
Heirloom is
just
up
by the
there.
numbers. And what's really cool about Heirloom is they have an orchard farm, an apple orchard farm up
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
upstate New York. And so I walked into one of our locations, over the holidays, and there's like this just box of apples, but like beautifully laid out, like a gift box, and they're fresh and beautiful, crisp. And I'm like, yo, where'd these come from? They're like, oh, Heirloom has an apple farm, and they use that for some of their terps and extract. And I was like, what is going on? So and it was great.
Let's
I grabbed an
go.
apple. So shout out to them. Kiva is tried and true as always. Those guys crush it everywhere they go. They have such an amazing array
Yep.
of product offerings, with whether it's their lost
Evo.
farm, whether if it's their lost farms with the live resin, or whether if it's their Caminos and their Kiva bars. They've just been crushing it even since I was back in my Cali days.
Yeah.
So they're
I
doing
definitely saw them
tremendous.
all over the place and was Uh, it's nice because it's like when you think about that sleep, we go back to that sleep comment earlier about it being medicine, right? I particularly get stressed out if I can't use weed to make my stomach feel better because Crohn's, IBS, that whole nine, kidney stone damage, and then sleep, right? If I can't get rid of the back pain and pass out and I'm just tossing and turning all night, I'm definitely irritated and I'm not a good leader and I don't get as much done and all that shit, right? And so I really get stressed out about not having those things. And so it's nice to be able to have that consistency from as a West Coast person, like a shopper, to go over there, know that I can land at the airport, damn near walk somewhere, and typically get what I'm used to getting. And Heirloom being a New York brand, it's nice to see them already in the top. I had them in my top rankings for the year already. I think they're everywhere in New York. I didn't go into a dispensary that didn't carry them. They're one of the big dogs just because of that. I'm excited to hopefully see them going, into other states. That would be exciting for me as a consumer as I want to drink those drinks everywhere I go. You know what I mean? Just like you can get seltzers from different places with whatever company they're from. I would love to have that be my weed drink in Nevada when I'm there for MJ Biz. I'd love to be able to come get it from Cali. So I look forward to legislation changing. I look forward to legalization over time. It should be exciting. It should be exciting, right? Now,
Fingers crossed.
let me go ahead and do a fun one for us here. We are Music Cannabis Sports Tech Pub, right? We cover a lot of different shit, you guys. Make sure y'all tap it. We got another podcast we just launched called Respect the Tech. We just did an interview with somebody from France who helps seniors call and connect with their parents and their families easier. It was an incredible conversation. Make sure y'all go tap in on our YouTube channel for that. But Ilya, we talk a lot about music. If the Flowery, right? You guys were a part of Rolling Loud. If the Flowery was gonna do a New York City music festival, 3 days, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I don't care. Who is gonna be your headliners? You get to pick. You're the stage designer.
Wow.
You're the director for it. You're booking it all. Who
I
are
mean,
you picking? This is not necessarily on behalf of the Flowery. No one is co-signing the Flowery saying this. This
yeah,
is your choice.
I think this is pretty easy. I love hip hop. I love New York rap, and the music out here. I'd say Action Bronson is close to the top of the list.
Let's
Also,
go.
Diplomats. Cameron,
Oh,
Jewels, Jib Jones, all those guys for sure.
that'd be so lit.
Like 100%. You got the Queensbridge Militia out there for the old school cats. With the Nas and the AZs of the world. So, I
You
fuck with
only
a
got
lot of
3
them.
days though, and you didn't
You
say the
know,
lock. So who's your who's
I,
your three
I do love me
picks?
some Jadakiss. I love Fat Joe. There's a lot of great legends out here. So I think that's a pretty good start.
Okay, I like that. I like that. He said it's a 5-day festival. We're booking all of them.
I'll take all of them
Let's
easy.
go. Let's go. Okay, I love it. I love it. Okay, now back on another personal question. In terms of the Flowery, your products in Florida, the things you sell in New York, what would you say are your top 5 products across the board that the Flowery carries? Your favorites, again, only top 5, starting 5. I like starting 5. It's
Oh
basketball.
my
I'm just
goodness,
always
you're
in
throwing out
basketball.
some curveballs here. Man, I mean, I know I've talked about runts plenty, but
Okay,
I do love me
so run
some
from the
runts.
flower. What about a beverage or an edible for you? You got a flavor there for New York?
I mean, I got to go with the apple flavor for Heirloom. I mean, that's their tried and
Yeah,
true.
that original one.
It's really delicious, honestly. Like
That
for
cran
anybody who
apple
hasn't
goes
tried it.
crazy too. That cran apple goes
Yeah,
crazy too.
yeah, they got a cola flavor, so it's ripping. It's like
I
they got
did
a lot of
enjoy
good
that
stuff.
one. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay, have you tried a lot of vapes? You gonna go to the moon on the vapes or to the moon on the flower? What are you thinking there?
Honestly, what I really love that To the Moon has that moves great for us is their dime bags. If you just want
Yeah. Okay. The dime
that
bag.
quick one grammer. I know you mentioned those other two, and I
Dude,
know we talked
in
about flour,
Seattle, we
but
sold a lot of dime bags. They
yeah,
don't sell a lot of dime bags
it's
in
very
Cali.
unique. It's very unique for them. I think they're one of the only ones in the market doing it, and they crush it. And I think that's sometimes like an overlooked category.
Love that, dude. I love that. No, that's fire, man. I appreciate you sharing it. I know I like to put a little bit of pressure because I'm trying to figure out who's the best. I could go to the bud tenders and I can ask their recommendations, and it's always based on what they try. But when you get to chat with someone who's helping curate these partnerships and creating these experiences and building these true partnerships. You think about what you guys have going on down there in Florida with this ecosystem of brands and partnerships to help create these phenomenal products. And then in New York, it's such a different model, right? Where you guys are working with these partners, these licensed partners, to bring in their products and resell them to your own customers. There's a lot, and it's a big difference. So I applaud you guys for what you built, man. It's been
Yeah.
it's been
There's
very
definitely
cool.
a few underrated brands out there too that a lot of people don't know about. There's a lot of boutique grows out here that do like very limited drops.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're hustling out here. There's a lot of hardworking people that really care about cannabis out here.
New York's industry is going hard. There's a lot of passion there. A lot of the events. Shout out to on the Revelry group out there. They're doing incredible things, putting stuff together. I know you guys have events going on at your store. Do you want to chat about anything you guys have coming up at your stores? Anything cool you can shout out or promote?
Well, we're working on getting these stores open. I mean, we talked about it earlier. We got 3 stores open, and we're working on our 420 offerings right now. So hopefully,
420 parties at all 3 stores or what?
we're hopefully at all 8 stores.
Oh, that meant the new ones, but yeah, hopefully all 8.
We're
Let's
planning a
go.
bunch. We're working with a lot of our brand partners to see where we could get cracking out here. So definitely stay tuned for 420, and come check us out. What I noticed about New York is the weather's better. People are out and about. So we'll see. We'll see. Once the sun comes out, we're going to be seeing everybody.
Absolutely wonderful, man. I appreciate you for your time, Elliot. It has been wonderful getting to know you and the brand and learning about these different products you guys sell and the differences between the markets and all these different locations. And I'm not going to test you about all the different cities and locations because I wouldn't know where they're at anyways. But where could the people go online? Is it your website to figure out all the locations you guys have? That's the best place?
You can go to thefloweryny.com.
thefloweryny.com, man. Make sure you guys tap in. You guys, this was another episode of the New York Cannabis Podcast. We talked about a lot today. The Flowery is doing some amazing things. They're about to have 8 dispensaries open across the state. It's nothing new to them. They've been building their brand down in Florida for a number of years now, establishing really, really wonderful partnerships with brands that have such a phenomenal history of high quality products, and not just high quality, guys. We're talking some of the best. When Dave and Preferred first launched in Cali, it was widely respected that he had some of the best mixed light flower in the game. For him to go down there to Florida was you guys paying respect to that and realizing that was going to be a great way to create the highest quality of flower at a better price and better production cost than indoor at the end of the day. And to understand that at scale is huge. To think about the indoor partners that you guys have, to think about these other brands.
We only grow indoor, by the way.
Well, the mixed light thing was what was happening out here.
Okay. I just want to make it clear.
But to think that can happen down there again at a high level, to give him the indoor opportunity, I think that is super incredible to see that's truly coming to life at a high level. So big respect to that.
Thank you.
For anybody that has questions, be sure to reach out, drop a comment, like, follow, subscribe, talk shit about me, but make sure you show love to Ilya and the Flowery over here. Ilya, this is where we come to the last part. I always like to give my guests the floor to chat about anything that they'd like or to just do whatever they want to do. So the floor is yours, my friend.
Thanks. First off, I want to say thank you to Joey, and I think what you're doing out here is phenomenal, especially for the cannabis community. I don't want to get too deep, but I think something that the Flowery does that sets people apart is we just really care about the plant and care about the culture, and that's really what we're about. And I think that adds to a lot of our success and a lot of the trust that we have between our employees, our brand partners, and our clientele. And that's something we're going to continue to do and continue to focus on. And, we're just going to provide the best weed out there. That's what we just really care about. We want to bring good weed. We just want to bring good weed to the market. Like, that's what we really like. We're all stoners from back in the day anyways, back when I was in California, in high school, out to now where I'm in New York. Like, all I care about is just making sure that whatever I put my name behind, and whether it be with the Flowery or not, like for anything that I do and I touch, I want to make sure the quality is the best. And luckily, that's what the Flowery is doing, and I'm just lucky to be a part of it.
Man, again, it's been so cool to learn about some of your passions and some of your experiences and how that's tied in with the Flowery and the growth there. To think about, just some homies coming together and making some magic happen and to continue growing it. And some of those things, it's inspiring. I respect the hustle. I know the product's good. I got a homie down there in Florida that's already that chalk. Multiple people that have been on our team that have tried the products and very familiar with the brands. It's dope what you guys are doing, and I appreciate you guys bringing some of these people on and putting them on because they deserved it, right? And the people deserve a quality product, and it'll be cool to
Yeah.
see as these markets change over time how that further develops and when we can start giving more Florida people opportunities, we can start giving more New York people opportunities as it continues to grow. And so big shout
Hell
out to
yeah.
you guys. Again, the Flowery, NewYork.com, NY.com. Make sure y'all tap in. I'm Jay Ping. This is Ilya at the Flowery. We'll catch you on the next episode. I love you guys.